The wait is over this week. 257 names will be called in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's time for the 2025 NFL Draft as we welcome you in to Draft Day Insider inside the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco. Alongside Nicole Hutchison and Tommy Yarish of DallasCowboys.com. I'm Kyle Yeomans. It is so good to be back. One of the best weekends of the NFL calendar is upon us. It's time to figure out what the future of each of these franchises have in store. And Tommy, it's going to be a little bit of chaos throughout these 3 days.
Yeah, chaos all across the board simply because there's so many things that I feel like can happen between 4 and 12. And then after that, what happens? It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, the draft wouldn't be fun if there was no chaos, right? So that's what makes it a lot of fun to watch. I mean, when you look back at the last 3 years of the Cowboys draft, the draft picks haven't necessarily done a lot for this team. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this new pick in the new draft comes and does for the Dallas Cowboys.
And that's going to be the key for the Cowboys. They have to fill some needs throughout this NFL draft, and there is an opportunity to do so by hitting on those draft picks. In the past, the Cowboys, outside of maybe these last 2 drafts, as Nicole mentioned, have been a pretty good drafting team, says Jerry Jones.
We're one of the best drafting teams in the NFL. I'll say that. We are. And that's because of the hard work that goes on to get there, and it's because of, in my mind, the process we use to make the decisions. I do not make the decision about that player. That's been made cumulatively, and it's been made cumulatively here and there, and I'm a tiebreaker maybe. But I hope to hell that I'm sitting there listening to all of this, sat in on all the meetings, been in all the stuff, and I hope that we come up with the very best decision.
And that's exactly what all Cowboys fans would love to see out of the war room on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The Cowboys hold the 12th overall, 44th overall, and 76th overall picks before they don't have a pick in the 4th round. So, Tommy, I'll start with you. How confident are you, even with those 3 top 100 picks, that the Cowboys can fill their long list of needs?
I think I would feel more confident, Kyle, if the Cowboys find a way to maybe get their 4th round pick back. Remember, this is the 4th round pick that the Cowboys sent to Carolina for wide receiver Jonathan Mingo. And with so many needs in this draft, you think about cornerback, wide receiver, defensive tackle, running back. I think if you can get a 4th round pick back and knock out all 4 of those positions in the first 4 rounds of this draft, you're feeling a lot better about this team and how they're going forward.
I feel very confident, Kyle. Just hearing, from Brian Schottenheimer, hearing from Will McClay, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and just how they feel like they attacked free agency. 12 outside free agents so far, so they're going in with a little bit more confidence, knowing that they have established a lot more depth than they have in the past. I like where they are now. I feel like what Tommy had mentioned just about what you need, a wide receiver, cornerback, defensive tackle, you can now feel better about getting those players best available.
And there are ways for you to ultimately pick up some more draft capital, as Tommy alluded to. This team could be trading back, and history tells us that the 12th overall pick is a reliable pick to trade back. Now, this is a different draft class than in years past, but it has been shown before. Let's go back to 2022. The Detroit Lions traded for that 12th pick, all the way up from the final pick in the 1st round. They did have to package quite the haul to make that big of a jump. 20 picks up in the NFL draft. They give up their early 2nd round pick, and then the Vikings got to pick in twice in the next 3 selections as the final pick of the 1st and the 2nd pick of the 2nd. The Texans did something similar in 2017. The Texans could be one of those teams that could jump up early in this draft as well. It seems like they could be hunting some offensive linemen in the first 15 picks or so. So my question to you, Nicole, is how can the Cowboys fill their needs, and what is the likelihood of them possibly trading back in this year's NFL draft?
Well, can a girl dream really fast right now? I did some math on the draft value chart first, so just hear me out with this one. I did Seattle, which so far, let's break it down. The Cowboys have 1,200 points. In Seattle, with the 18th pick, they have 900 points. So it goes out to the value of 300 points, right? Okay, so Seattle has 2 third-round picks. I don't know. It's going to be a slight overpay of 12 points, 312, but that would mean Dallas would get 5 picks in the top 100. I like it. Now, is that realistic? We don't know, but I would love to see Dallas get a lot more money for their books, for sure.
Tommy, what do you think?
Yeah, depth is the name of the game in this class, so as many top 100 picks as you can stack, that's what the Cowboys are looking to do. It's no secret that I feel like they want to trade back. The question is, can they find a dancing partner, right? Everybody in this draft seems like they want to trade back. Are the Falcons at 15 maybe a team that would be looking to get up a couple of spots and find an edge rusher? Could you be looking at Sean Payton in Denver? Is there a guy on their board that they feel like maybe wouldn't get there at 20? A lot of different options for the Cowboys. And Nicole, you mentioned the trade chart. This might be a year where that kind of goes out the window a little bit just because teams may be desperate to get their guy in this class compared to some of the others. So we'll see. Chaos was the word we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. That's what this draft is going to be full of.
And there are a lot of names that we're going to go over through the course of this show to get you ready for what could happen at pick number 12. Wide receiver seems to be a heavy possibility. We're going to break down the film from some of the top wide receivers in this year's NFL draft, including Texas's Matthew Golden. But coming up next, can Ashton Jeanty be an option there at pick number 12? Probably not, but we're going to give you some options in the spots of need for this Dallas Cowboys team.
The Dallas Cowboys Draft Day Insider is brought to you by United Ag and Turf, your first-round draft pick for John Deere equipment. And by Dr. Pepper. Raise your Dr. Pepper glass to America's team. It's a pepper thing. This segment is brought to you by United Ag and Turf, your first-round draft pick for John Deere equipment.
Throughout the NFL draft process, Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty has become a household name. Originally from Lone Star High School in Frisco, Texas, played his high school football in the Dallas Cowboys practice facility at the Star. Here's what it would mean to Ashton Jeanty, the runner-up in the Heisman race, to possibly come back home.
It'd be special, man. I mean, just being in the area, being familiar with it, and then just being able to kind of have that childhood, hometown hero story, I think it would be big time.
2,600 rushing yards in his final season with Boise State, second most in FBS football history. Back with Tommy Yarish and Nicole Hutchison. It's really incredible to talk about the running back position in this year's NFL draft because it's not just Jeanty. There are plenty of running backs available. Let's give a couple of options. Of course, Ashton Jeanty leads the way. He's the top running back available, Tommy. When you look at what he brings to the table, how does it compare against maybe the second best running back in Marion Hampton?
I think Jeanty is truly one of a kind in this class. When you look at the combination of contact balance and the ability to make guys miss in the open field, his footwork out of the backfield, and just being able to make guys miss at the line of scrimmage too, is just a complete as a back as you get. In pass protection, he is absolutely phenomenal. And for running backs, pass protection is job protection. So being able to excel at that at a high level is something that Jeanty certainly exhibits. And then you mentioned just being able to handle the workload that Boise State gave him was phenomenal. And you watch him this year in his runner-up campaign for the Heisman Trophy, he is one of a kind. Not that Marion Hampton is not a good back, but Ashton Jeanty is truly different in this class.
A quality running back can honestly change the trajectory of an offense in the NFL. I mean, you look at Saquon Barkley, you look at Derrick Henry. Now, am I saying that Ashton Jeanty is going to come in and be automatically Saquon Barkley? No. Development obviously is going to take some time with that. But I mean, he's 5'11", 211 pounds. Not the fastest running back in this draft, but he's got a lot of burst as well. You can't overlook the fact that he had that record-breaking season either. And something that stands out from what Brian Schottenheimer has always mentioned, they want a running back who can create on their own. That's what I feel like Ashton Jeanty can do.
And Marion Hampton, of course, he had 10 100-plus yard rushing games in his final season with North Carolina, including a couple of 200-yard rushing games. Good contact balance, just like we talked about with Jeanty. He's a physical runner, good pass protector as well, runs behind his pads, does a lot of things well, and it's a reason why he was named an All-American not once, but twice in Chapel Hill. Let's move to the edge rusher spot, starting with Mykel Williams out of Georgia. He's compared with Shamar Stewart, two SEC edge rushers, Nicole, that could bring production where they didn't necessarily have the production at the college level.
Well, I think that I'm going to use a perspective of what we already have in this roster already. You have Dante Fowler, who's had his best season yet in Washington, and looking at the production of Mykel Williams and Shamar Stewart, Shamar had 4.5 sacks in 3 seasons. Mykel Williams never exceeded 6 sacks in a season. So from the production standpoint, I don't necessarily feel like I'd go with these two because I'm pretty satisfied with this defensive end position so far.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation, right? Shamar Stewart, you think about the athlete that he is and some of the combine numbers that you saw him put up. It was unbelievable, some of the better ones we've seen at that position. And so the question is, how much do you value production and getting those guys down in the backfield? Shamar Stewart and Michael Williams can both get back there. Can they do it at a high level and get the guy down in the backfield, the quarterback down?
Yeah, Stewart had 39 pressures his final season with Texas A&M. All right, Will Johnson leads the way. Jahdae Barron out of Texas. Both of these guys top cornerback possibilities. Could corner be the need for the Cowboys in the first round?
Well, it's certainly a need for this team, and it wouldn't shock me at all if that's the pick at number 12. Starting off with Will Johnson, I mean, just kind of the prototype of what you're looking for in an NFL corner and what the Cowboys are looking for. Taller guy, longer arms, great in zone coverage. That's exactly what Matt Eberflus is going to be looking for. Jahdae Barron, more of a versatile chess piece. You can play him anywhere in the secondary, nickel, corner, slot, in the safety position too. He's just a phenomenal player who can really do it all, and an easy pick for the Thorpe Award this year in college football.
Yeah, and Brian Schottenheimer mentioning that, yes, the production standpoint is something that weighs heavily for this team, but also the temperament. Despite the size, they may be a smaller guy, like a Jordan Lewis was about 5'10", 5'11", but played bigger than his size. Jahdae Barron necessarily does that as well. He's 5'11", 194 pounds, and a little bit more reliable in coverage. He's also scheme versatile as well. So I like Jahdae Barron. I was talking to Tommy about it off camera, and he was like, he can do everything. I agree wholeheartedly.
No doubt about it. Both of those guys had great production during their final season at the collegiate level. You might be thinking, but what about wide receiver? We've hit some of the other needs for the Dallas Cowboys, but could Teteroa McMillan fill a void at wide receiver 2 in Dallas? We hit the film room next.
This segment was brought to you by United Ag and Turf, your first round draft pick for John Deere equipment.
It's no secret that the Dallas Cowboys could be hunting their wide receiver 2 in this year's NFL draft, and they could do so as early as the 12th overall pick. Now, the right fit in this offense with head coach Brian Schottenheimer is crucial, and that perfect fit could be Teteroa McMillan.
I mean, outside of my abilities on the field, I feel like, I fit the culture of the Cowboys really well. I feel like you can throw me into the locker room and, I'm going to bring good energy. I'm going to be a good person of character. I'm going to bring light to the locker room and just kind of continue the culture, continue the legacy that, the Cowboys have built. And, at the end of the day, my mindset is to chase greatness.
Of course, McMillan, a big name in this year's NFL draft, as is Matthew Golden out of Texas. It'll be a debate around Cowboys draft circles from years to come, no matter what happens at the 12th overall pick. And to talk more about the debate on whether McMillan's the fit or Golden's the fit, we welcome in Tommy Yarish from DallasCowboys.com. Tommy, overall, these two players are both explosive in their own right, but they bring something different to the table.
Yeah, explosive. That's the key word. That's what Stephen Jones said the Cowboys are looking for in their wide receiver, too. What kind of explosiveness do they want? If they want explosiveness down the field, a 50-50 ball guy, Teteroa McMillan's your guy. That 6'4" frame, 31.5-inch arms. This guy's catch radius is massive. He can bring in whatever comes towards him. If you want speed, Matthew Golden's your guy. The 4.29 40-yard dash, fastest amongst NFL receivers at the combine, and so he can bring that element to the table. So that's the question that the Cowboys are going to have to answer.
Let's take a look at what they do well outside of that. You talked about Teteroa McMillan, deep play threat and somebody that can take the top off of a defense. I want to outline what he can do outside of that. Let's put him in the slot, see what he can do from a spacing standpoint and really from a yards after the catch standpoint as well. As we play through this opening play, he works inside. He is right here on top of the A. He'll catch this ball and then he's out of the chute. The spacing available, he beats the zone defense and he takes it the rest of the way.
Yeah, that's one of the big concerns with Teteroa McMillan is he fast enough? When he gets in the open field, can he make guys miss? He can. You just saw it there on that film. Let's go all the way back to where he catches this ball here real quick. You look at all the space that's in front of him here at the start. So he lined up in that bunch set you saw there, just a quick little slant route over the middle. A lot of space in the open field. You got him right here. So this defender's closing right in on him. He turns his head around and sees him immediately, able to turn back around on a dime. you'd like to see a little bit quicker transition there maybe. But then look at that, all that open space in front of him. Makes number 9 there, miss in the middle of the field, and it ends up getting chased down. But those long strides are what's going to be the difference maker for McMillan in open space.
Now, the 4.53 40 is crucial. A lot of people might be worried about that number overall. In this clip against BYU, there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, don't worry about it whatsoever. Let's go ahead and roll this clip. He's lined up right here in the slot. You probably won't see him do this very often with the Cowboys, but just a simple, oh, nice move there at the top to move the safety. He's wide open. This is a better ball. That's a touchdown. Quarterback kind of leads him into a defender there, but just that stiff little move there at the top of the route to make the safety bite, and then he moves right into the open space. Nobody is lined up in front of him to start, so he realizes this is one-on-one coverage. If you get Tedero McMillan in one-on-one coverage, you try to get him the ball as much as you can. Quarterback's kind of moving on the run there to the right, and McMillan in stride. He's got strong hands, able to get under the ball, tracks it really well. This is a really good football player, Kyle.
So we talk about the 50-50 balls, contested catches, and now you see some route running from Tedero McMillan. As we go to Matthew Golden, you know it's speed, you know it's route running, but he can do some damage in the red zone as well. Here he is in the slot. This is all blink and you might miss it sort of scenario with Matthew Golden. He works inside, gets a sliver of separation, and then it's soft hands with a one-handed grab over the top of a defender. He gets the separation needed in that short yardage scenario. The Cowboys can utilize a guy like this to build separation in the red zone.
Yeah, great in the red zone, that rub concept to where it's him and the outside receiver kind of running into the same path to try and throw the DBs off coverage. This is actually a good job by Vanderbilt in terms of being able to maneuver around that and stay on the guy. This is just a way better play by Matthew Golden. He can give you that wow factor anywhere on the field. He's got great hands, really strong hands too. When the ball hits his hands, it doesn't move anymore after he makes control of it. And another example here you'll see against Texas A&M, you've got Golden here in the slot. It's kind of a reverse sluggo type route. Instead of going out and up, he goes towards the sideline and up, and you can see that it's game over once that defensive back flips his hips. And Golden using that speed down the sideline to make the catch. Good throw by the quarterback and able to hold on through contact with two guys closing in. You want to see that ball a little bit more out in front of him there from Quinn Ewers, the quarterback, but instead Golden able to hang on through the contact. You see him make that nifty move right there at the top of the route. Two guys closing in there, and he's still able to hold on through the contact and make the play downfield.
These are both explosive wide receivers, and they can give you exactly what you're looking for on draft day if the Cowboys have an available wide receiver there at pick number 12. But could there be some other positions in the mix in the NFL draft? It's not just wide receiver available. Could it be tight end? Could offensive line be in the picture? We go outside the box when we come back. We've already hit some of the major needs for the Dallas Cowboys in this year's NFL draft: wide receiver, running back, corner, just to name a few. But could there be some other potential names available for the Cowboys at pick number 12? Well, Jerry Jones said it himself. You cannot overlook an offensive lineman possibly at the 12th overall pick. Here are my top 5 offensive linemen, Tommy, and it starts with Texas's Kelvin Banks Jr.
Yeah, I like that pick for number 1 as offensive lineman in this class. He's a guy who's played left tackle his entire career. I think can play tackle in the NFL, but teams have talked about moving him inside to guard. Either way, I think he is the best offensive lineman in this class. I think he can do both at a high level in the NFL. If not, how about Armand Membu from Missouri, one of the most athletic offensive linemen in this class? Another guy who has the flexibility to play on the outside or on the inside. Does he get to number 12 would be the question if the Cowboys want to go offensive line.
And you even see Will Campbell there from LSU, another possible pick that early on. All right, tight end isn't necessarily a need for the Dallas Cowboys, but Nicole, if Tyler Warren is there out of Penn State, he may be the top prospect available.
Yeah, but can you afford to pick a tight end at number 12? Absolutely not. You still have a lot more needs, specifically needing a complement to CeeDee Lamb. You need some more needs as far as filling in that cornerback room as well. You also look at this tight end room. Jake Ferguson, of course, a down year for him in 2024, but I mean, his back was hurting from carrying this offense in 2023. So Luke Schoonmaker's obviously looking to make a jump as well, so I think this tight end room is pretty solid.
And both Schoonmaker and Ferguson just 26 years old. All right, final one technique up front. Can they find a big body in the middle, Tommy?
Yeah, I think Kenneth Grant from Michigan is your guy that could be there at 12, or even in a trade back scenario. A big athletic body in the middle of the defensive line that can stop the run really well and even get after the passer a little bit too.
And picking one of these positions to be the 12th overall pick would be pretty bold moving forward. When we come back, we'll give our predictions and some bold predictions on night one of the NFL Draft.
The Dallas Cowboys Draft Day Insider was brought to you by United Ag and Turf, your first-round draft pick for John Deere equipment. And by Dr. Pepper. Raise your Dr. Pepper glass to America's team. It's a pepper thing.
The Dallas Cowboys on the clock with the 12th overall pick in this year's NFL Draft. They hold 10 selections overall as we wrap up this edition of Draft Day Insider. Alongside Tommy Yarish and Nicole Hutchison, I'm Kyle Yeomans. All right, what's your prediction? Where do the Cowboys go in night one?
I think it's Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden. This team needs an explosive wide receiver too. Matthew Golden gives you that with his speed, downfield ability, and really strong hands. Love the fit in the Cowboys offense.
All right.
I'm going wide receiver as well. Tommy, you got me. I'm going to go with Tetro McMillan out of Arizona. I think that he has the perfect blend of size, perfect blend of length as well, speed. Also, I think that they're going to go wide receiver.
And I have a bold prediction for the weekend. The Cowboys hold those 10 picks overall, and that's a good thing moving forward. The last time they spent all 10 picks was back in 1995. My bold prediction, that streak continues. They're going to trade back up and get their 4th round pick back. We'll see you tomorrow with more Draft Day Insider.